to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hope everyone had a nice 4th of July. Still heard them last night. I heard them till midnight.
Yes.
Everybody's still enjoying it. It's all right. We're only 2:51. So, pass around the May 18 minutes for everyone to sign. May 18 minutes will be coming around. Any corrections or additions to the June 15th meeting? Any additions or corrections to the June 15th meeting? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion at this time.
So moved.
Second?
Got a motion by Mr. Dodd, a second by Mr. Byram. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those pass. I'm going to skip the old business and let Mr. Johnson go first for the Deer Park subdivision under new business.
I'm Wyatt Johnson, 118 East South Street, Tipton. I'm an engineer and land surveyor and representing the case for Mr. Benkenstein. We subdivided a few lots in this area before, and there's one driveway that goes up to the houses. Little Wildcat Creek's in this area, so everybody's going to use that one driveway. And if you've got any other questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson, as you're looking for this to be put on the agenda for the next meeting, is that
Yeah,
correct?
for the public hearing,
For the
yes.
public hearing?
Did you find that note, whether there was anything, because we went through our minutes and there was nothing?
I don't know where it came from. I put a
Okay.
note on the plans about a driveway, getting permission to cross a driveway from the drainage board, and I don't know where that came from. It was on an old drawing, so I put it on there thinking that it would avoid questions, and instead it made questions. So,
I'd ask you to remove it.
yeah.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? If not, he's looking to be put on the July 20th meeting for approval for a public hearing. I'd entertain a motion at this time.
Move to approve putting him on the
Second. July 20th.
July 20th.
Got a motion by Mr. Dodd, second by Mr. Olery. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
July 20th at 5 o'clock. All right, we'll go back up to the old business and the Kokomo C-Store, Mr. Berger.
Jeff, you might need to enter into a public hearing.
I'd skip that. But before we go to the C-Store, you can stay there. Before we go to the C-Store, we need to go to public hearing, so recess the regular drainage board.
So moved?
Got a motion by Mr. Byram,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Bray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in public hearing at this time.
Thank you very much. My name is Rick Berger, JPS Consulting Engineer, 11 Municipal Drive, Fishers, Indiana. I'm asking for the Drainage Board to approve the C-Store located on the northwest corner of Dixon Road, State Road 26. I don't know if you have any questions. We've been here few times before. I think we've met Mr. Lake's review criteria.
Yes, they did obtain their stormwater permit and met all of the requirements.
But who was this? There was quite a bit of remonstrance, and who was that from?
For which part? There was some remonstrance in reference to the drainage
To the drainage, yes.
from concerned citizens north of the golf course or north of the apartment complexes within the golf course that is on Wildcat. What is that? The East Fork of the Little Wildcat? those are where the complaints stem from the individuals that had came in here. And at that time, I did have an email chain with them in reference to what this project's doing is actually reducing the time in which the rain would get to them, but the watershed is so large where they're at on the Wildcat that they aren't gonna notice what this development is improving. They're still gonna flood.
Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Berger? Okay, what's the wishes of this board at this time?
I'd like to hear from any public.
Is there any, I'm off, any public comment tonight? No public comment? No public comment. What's the wishes of this board tonight?
Could you go back?
Sir.
This is site plan approval. And Alan, you may help me here. I may be out of bounds asking this question. Why this location?
I'm the design engineer for the project. I'm not the owner or operator. But in speculation, most of the time, it's a site where there's going to be cars passing that may need to stop into a convenience store. That would be the reason for that. I don't know about the property negotiations, and who owns what properties out there. But that's the reasoning.
I'm going to throw this out here for the rest of my board members. The city put in an ordinance that limits these kind of properties. My fear is that we will see an increased number of these businesses that steps just outside the city into the county. I mean, just outside the city into the county to circumvent the city ordinance. That's my fear. I have no evidence of this except the location. So, and I get it that you have no say-so in it, so I teach sometimes that you're not the cause, but you can be the target.
And that's fine.
So that's my concern. And it has nothing to do with drainage.
I think our plan commission hearing is
This month.
July 21st, is that right?
I think so.
Tuesday?
Yep.
Two Tuesdays. And those are probably the discussions we're going to have there. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
And I'm on the planning commission.
And we'll have those discussions there, which is fine.
But I just throw that out for my fellow
I
board
I
members.
don't agree.
Concern.
I have no problem with this. And me being a builder, I hate moratoriums on anything that's being built. This is free enterprise. I'm all in favor of it. I've spent so much time at Salisbury's with my wife, I'd love to have a place to go across the street and have a Coke.
Even if you are creating an imaginary line, which is what we're doing, and we're creating ordinances that push urban sprawl. You're good, you don't mind the urban sprawl aspect? I think that's what really Jack's getting after, is we've created a situation that we're pushing urban sprawl.
So,
Okay, as long as you're good with that, I think that's what it boils down to. Is that what you're going after, Jack? Is
Yeah.
we're pushing development further and further out from the city because the rules are less restrictive in the county than they are in the city.
Greg, to your point, when you say rules being less restrictive, I think you told me that you're worried about if there's a gas leak or a spill. Under the city ordinances, they're better able to handle that, and under what they're under on the county level, we're unable to do anything. Can you
So-
expound on that a little bit? Because that's what's on my
Sure.
mind.
So, inside the city, this development would be required to be on sanitary sewer, okay? And the catchments of the drainage underneath the canopies, so where fuel will be spilled, a little bit of fuel is always spilled. When that drains, it drains to a location, in this particular case, it's an underground location. They have taken steps to prevent that oil or that gasoline, the residue, from leaving the site. So they have 3 BMPs in place to prevent that from happening.
Under the city.
No, under us.
Under
In the
us.
city, they wouldn't have 3 BMPs in place, they wouldn't have filters in place, they would just discharge it to the city, where we're trying to capture it. But what that does is those filters require maintenance, and not whenever we want to maintenance, on a very strict regimen of maintenance.
Okay.
So the human aspect of maintaining those filters is what comes into question. And in our particular case, if any of that material is released off this site, it will be very evident in the pond across the street, and it's going to stay there because it's going to float. And that's what's going to be shown. And you'll see a sheen on top of that pond. And that's where the problem's going to be coming at, if any material gets released. If they follow their plans the way it's designed, we shouldn't have that problem. But that's my concern.
Thank you.
Is there a safety, from purely a drainage, is there a safety concern about it going underneath in a confined space?
Sure, the safety concern is getting it clean before they can start discharging it again.
Even from a cleaning aspect, so now it's like almost a big tank, and it gets down in there, and if there's a spark down in this tank,
So you would have to have a significant spill for that type of volume to be ignitable.
yeah,
What I'm concerned about is residue due to lack of maintenance. He has put in some stop features, like a control valve that the material can't leave until they turn the valve open to flush it on through. Well, if there's any material in that, and I believe you even put in an electronic sensor on that, if
We said we could monitor that.
yeah, if there's
Same with
any
tanks.
floatables in that unit, it can't be open. They have to factor it out. So that's what I mean by
The
that.
gel, the process we've gone through is the containment sump, which will hold the spill. And then then that would drain through it's called a jellyfish. They have these filters that get replaced on an interval that catch the hydrocarbons. Then we continue on and have another type of BMP to catch as the belt and the suspenders and the elastic, so to speak. That would be
The
where
outlet
they have to
side.
hydrovac. But there is an operations and maintenance manual that goes along with this that will need to be attached to the property, that where this has to be monitored and maintained. I think you have that, do you have the same situation here with the county as far as BMP inspections?
Annually, yes.
Okay. So there would be at least that.
Yes, we have to inspect any BMPs once a year.
Yeah, so that's an assurance.
Right?
I truly believe that we're gonna have a problem with accidental release. I think that's going to happen, even if a car wrecks on the road and material goes down the side ditch, they're gonna get blamed for it because the residue's gonna show up in that pond. But that's the difference
That can happen
between.
whether they build or
that-
not,
That
though.
can be, that can happen anywhere, correct. But that's the difference of building inside city limits, or if we allow the development outside in the county, this type of, it's currently not, but this type of development, we could mandate it to be on sanitation, sanitary sewers. But there's no place for them to take that at this location. So there's some things that can be done, but most of the things that we're talking about here tonight deal with planning commission and not necessarily drainage. As far as,
I'm just priming the pump.
I know,
Prime the
and I
pump.
appreciate that because everything that we've done here, I've done all that I can do with the statutes that the most restrictive we can be, and then some, to build in that safety factor.
So they're in compliance with
With
everything,
drainage.
all the ordinances and rules that we have in place.
Yes,
I thought, okay. Want to make that clear.
But we can't legislate conspiracy theories. That's what we're doing. And if that's the case, we should have told them 3 months ago. that,
We can't legislate them, but we gotta think about them.
well, you can think about them privately, but you can't stop free enterprise just because you're thinking about something.
Everybody
I'll
said
admit,
we
after it happens a couple of
Everybody said it
times,
was
that's
stop.
when you can do something.
but I think we'd be remiss if we didn't at least bring it up for thought. Because this is new, or at least it's new to me, these tanks underground for storage. And I've never heard of it actually, so. And that's how it is new to me.
How many of these are in Indiana? These type of,
Underground detention systems? Well, they're all over the place.
Michigan just put one in at the New Hamaco station,
Yeah.
along the old auto tax building.
But the difference is, as Mr. Lake said, the fuel system, if there's a spill, it gets drained into a sanitary system. We have a septic system for our sanitation. So we can't go to the septic, we're gonna go into the storm. That is a difference.
we probably should have had a motion before we had discussion, but I'm going to move that we approve Copeland C-Store site plan.
Got a motion by Mr. Allery. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second by Mr. Dodd. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You pass.
Thank you, appreciate that. See you in a couple weeks.
yes, sir, you will. And I seconded that, not because I want to show it, I support the new business, but and, you know, his point is I feel we need to bring up every point. So,
Thank you.
Preceding HCDB 2602, findings and order for preceding HCDB 2603. Increase, but we're going to first hear from Paul about the Maria Coons.
I can take it for Paul if.
Okay.
I don't think he has anything planned for tonight. Basically,
Okay.
this is a recap from our last meeting. Going through the reconstruction, I feel like we've addressed all the items. There could be some other comments tonight. To reiterate, we have pared this reconstruction down as much as we possibly can to get it as cheap as we possibly can. And there are a few things that over time we will have to address or continue to do under maintenance after we do the reconstruction. I know there's some drain tiles at the bottom of the ditch that we need to look at and see if there's any way to increase the depth of that open drain to allow a little bit better capacity on those tiles. But that's not something that we can really address in this phase of this work. So that's about all I have, unless the board has any questions from our last hearing.
I will open it up for public hearing, but and I typically don't do this, but we've discussed this on several occasions. So I'm going to limit people to 3 minutes tonight.
Please
ahead.
state your name and address.
All right. My name is Morgan Walden. I live at 3660 West, 350 South, Etherington Estates subdivision. And I'm representing 7 homeowners right in that area on 350 South, west of 350 West. And I got to meet with Rhonda Etherington, and I pulled some blueprints of our easement that varies across the back of our properties. And my next door neighbor's where the easement actually starts right in front of his building. Every time you get a rain, it floods out. Water comes back up through his drain and floods his barn out. We got to move welding equipment and everything else out. Last year, my barn flooded out 3 of my new Corvettes. A little frustrating. And I was waiting on somebody to call me so I could get you guys out there to look at that. I've got pictures. Monday the 22nd, I had a contractor that specializes in that kind of work give me some information. He come out, I cleaned it out with a weed whacker, showed him where we're at. Tuesday the 23rd, I had another contractor from Tipton County come out and give me his best bets on what needs to be done with that drain. And I called my insurance company, and they said I need to meet with the drainage board, and we probably need to get something figured out with it. It's been getting worse every year. I got down there and measured it this morning. We are 6 inches below the base of the Maria Coons ditch right now. So it's sealed it in. It's got worse. It doesn't drain. So is that clean out going to be part of what we're going to be taxed for or not?
It's going to open up the outlet so that water will flow.
Well-
I don't know that we are going to continue dredging on around to that corner all the way to the road.
That's not going to help us. According to what we've been told, if you're going to stop right there at the bend, at the Armor Bank, that's not going to help us homeowners down that road right there.
No. We're
Because the
talking-
water flows from the south to the north.
Right, we're talking from the north. So the area from the north coming south to the new cross pipe, the new house that put the cross pipe in the middle of the run. So from that cross pipe north is what we were cleaning and trying to lower the grade so that that cross pipe will drain the rest of it. I don't disagree that sediment's not building up in the
Yeah,
ditch.
well then why are we going to pay tax for something that's not going to help us out? Answer my question there.
Because the second phase of this is if the grade doesn't relieve your situation, we got to take out a driveway culvert and replace it at a lower elevation and lower the whole ditch back to that corner.
Okay, well, that's not going to help us, because from the time you get to the Armor Bank, around the curve there, and you're heading west, and then just making the turn to the north there, is where that's all sealed it in. That's
Right.
where our drain's at.
Right, the problem is from that corner where your drain's at to that new culvert. Because the new culvert was put in at the right elevation, but the culvert on further north is where the question is coming into play. Because there's only a 1/10 of grade from your property, I believe, back to that, where your drain's at.
'Cause we're
So
barely
when-
draining.
My other question, and I apologize, I did not make it out to see you.
Yeah, I had two contractors come out, and I took care of them. I know both of them well. I bought them lunch.
But-
They were great people.
But my question that I want to know, or what I want to find out when I come out and visit with you, is how deep is the drain at your barn where it's flooding?
Well, it goes down pretty deep because where it floods catches that main and heads to the east. And it goes at an angle and it cuts back across his property, back over to the Maria Coons
So
ditch.
what I'm trying to understand is when that drain went in, did they put it on the bottom of the ditch?
It's-
Or
it's
or did
down.
or did they put it a foot above the normal water mark where the outlet should be at? Because if they put it in below or laid it on the bottom of the ditch or even put it in deeper, and they don't need that elevation, that's one way to take care of it. But without me knowing that, in my mind, I assume they put it on the bottom of the ditch because they're trying to get all the elevation they could to drain the lowest point
Well,
back
it-
on.
Lasers come in and replaced behind Smocks because it collapsed. There's an access, a tap access, and I can get into it, which I have.
Sure.
And it's draining to that creek until you get 3 feet of water, and the water stops moving. It
Correct.
just stands in the drain.
Absolutely. And that's, the reason that is because the outlet is in the bottom of the open ditch. So I'm just trying to understand, did they put it in the bottom of the ditch to meet elevations at the top end of the lateral? Or did they put it in the bottom of the ditch because that's where they started? So there's a way to fix it if it's one versus the other.
Well-
And that's what I,
The quickest, easiest fix, according to the two contractors, is clean it out 3 or 4 feet. That'll take care of your problem.
well, yes, but that also creates other problems. If we lower the ditch more than what it needs, it creates erosion issues. We also have to lower all the culverts downstream of you to get the elevation. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay, so you're working on it.
Yes, sir. But as far as the dipping of the ditch from that new culvert all the way around the corner back over to 350.
That's not gonna
I-
benefit us
I
6
don't-
families. What you guys are gonna do, east side of 350 west,
No, I'm talking north
Well-
of the turn, north of you, not
all right.
not
So
south
you're
of
gonna work
you.
on north there,
We're doing that first.
okay?
Yes, that's what we're doing
That's what I
right
wanna
now
know.
before the reconstruction starts. We're trying to get through that open ditch all the way back to that new culvert to get some relief so water will move.
Because our flooding's only got worse.
Absolutely.
We're the point now, insurance companies are not gonna pay off, a whole lot of things, so we're gonna have to take legal issues in our own hands. That's what we gotta do. So I got word from you that you're gonna take care of things.
I'm trying to get.
Okay.
I'm trying to get your outlet to where it will drain as long as it's not too low in the profile.
It's
If
right
it
in
is-
with the mud and the dirt right
But
there.
if you don't need that depth, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's what I need. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Come on up.
Did you put your phone number on the sign-in sheet? Thank you.
Name's Mark Meeks. I live at 3522 West, 350 South. But the question is, now, don't they have to have a permit to drop those lines into the ditch?
They are supposed to have a permit,
So it should be
yes.
on file with somebody in the somebody's office as to what that
Most people don't
location
get
was set at.
permits. I'll just say that straight up. Most people don't get permits.
Okay, but
Throughout history, up until here maybe
what they're saying
5
is
years
it
ago.
wasn't either put in legit, like, they didn't do any grade work when they put those lines in and just ran them so low that it had to hit the bottom of the ditch. Or they were they should have been and the ditch is filled in, but
Yeah, it's filled.
it hadn't.
Oh, I agree, there's sediment in the ditch. I don't disagree with that at all. But how much lower is the ditch profile when we cleaned it last versus where your pipe's at? If it was on the bottom after we cleaned it, that's where my problem's gonna come in.
But you're gonna know more once you set grade on the upper one, so that you know
Correct.
where it's sitting compared to the rest of it down south of it.
Correct.
I want to know if any of you guys live out in there.
I live on the west side of the county, but not in this watershed.
I've lived out there for 43 years. Not once have I seen anybody out there cleaning that ditch. Not once. And you've got a ditch out there. because it runs between my property.
I know, I
And-
thought you lived just south of him.
I do.
Were you yelling at me when we cleaned the ditch here, maybe 10 years ago and the mud stunk so bad?
Well, is that when the guy came down
We
certain-
stopped
And
at
then
his
you turn
driveway.
around and go back,
Yeah, we stopped at his driveway.
and then you turn around and go back.
Yeah, we did, we stopped at his driveway because to continue on, it was the impression that those driveway culverts weren't low enough when they were installed. So what we've found is from his driveway culvert through your walk bridge is much lower than the other culverts. But if you go from culvert to culvert through your walk bridge, the grade of the ditch is running right at a tenth. So that's pretty common for open ditches here in Howard County. But as far as not cleaning the ditch, yeah, you got mad at me when I did clean it the last time.
Well, if you did, I don't know where at, because mine sure didn't look like it, because I used to, when we first bought it, I used to get down in that ditch. I kept the grass cut on the hills, and I kept it all clean. And then it got so bad that you couldn't get down in it, and today, it's all humpy. It got places in it sticking up this far.
And we are gonna be cleaning through your yard. We're hoping to be on the west side of the ditch, so we don't have to cut your big trees down, through your walk bridge, and then back onto the east side as we're going north out of your property on.
Well, Bob said you was gonna come down to clean his,
Yep.
because I said the trees and everything on his is just,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first part of this project, is that's gonna be taking place here anytime between now and August. The contractor should be moving in, so we're gonna be cutting a bunch of trees down.
And then you're
dipping
going
that
my
back.
way.
We're going to go past your house, clear to that new culvert.
okay.
Yes, ma'am, and I hope not to have to be in between the ditch and your house, because you're gonna be really mad at me cutting those trees down. So I'm gonna try and go on the west side like we did the last time.
Well, there's trees on both sides of my
I know, but
ditch.
the trees are much bigger on your side than on the west side of the ditch.
Yeah.
Some of them are
Okay.
coming down.
It's really irritating when I used to get down there and could clean it.
I know.
And now I can't
Yep.
and stuff, so,
So what's stopping you today?
well, I had total knee repair,
Well, that might affect it.
so that affects it.
step down in that ditch, you'll get stuck.
Yeah, because it's so wet. Well, it's like I told Bob, I said, there's still water underneath my overcross, my walkover. But from there on down, it's dry.
It's dry, correct. And that's what, we're gonna clean that out and get it back to grade. We'll be going through your walk bridge, but I don't think we're gonna make it to the bottom of your walk bridge. That was my goal, was to lower his driveway culvert so that your walk bridge would be dry and we'd gain the depth to get back to that corner. But until we get there, I can't
Well,
say
the
that's
walk bridge,
way.
it always stayed dried underneath there. And my husband made sure that it was down far enough that if they did clean it, it wouldn't.
No, I agree. Your walk bridge is down deep enough. Is there a pipe in your walk bridge, or is it just an open?
I'm not for sure. My
Okay,
husband put
I
it
think
in
there's a pipe in it.
back whenever we bought the 5 acres back
Yeah.
there.
Yep. But yes, we're gonna be cleaning through your yard.
Well, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll take her to my house and have a cup of coffee while you do it.
Okay. Yeah.
You have your name and address.
Did you give your name and address?
Peggy Marple,
And your,
299 South, 350 West.
thank you, ma'am.
Hey, Greg, what happens if this board decides to do nothing? I asked that question at the town hall the other night, and different. What happens if we do nothing?
If we do not move forward with the reconstruction, we would probably need to raise the assessment significantly. And we would continue with what we have planned as far as cleaning of the open ditch here in August. And we would reevaluate whether or not we did anything between, on the tile drain. We got to do something with it. I don't know if we would get to the point of just replacing that entire section with the same size that it is, and it would be gravely undersized, but it would at least move water. So we would still be spending a good amount of money to do that with a less productive outcome.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, what's the board's wishes at this time?
Go ahead. Just get out of
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hand up.
Name's John Stout, 3403 West 300 South. I just wanted to confirm, I wrote a letter last time. I'm at the very end of the project. I think I was trying to get myself removed from the project. Did that go through?
Yes, on the modified assessment rule, you own on the west side of 350, or the east side of 350, the
Yeah.
big area.
Yeah.
No, that is not part of the watershed.
Okay. That's what I wanted to see. Thank you.
Come on up.
Bob Burke, I live at 3446 South, 350 West. We're right in front of our house is where they put the new pipe under 350. Okay? And then we've got standing water on the east side due to the fact that that east side is not, the west side hasn't been cleaned. But now I understand you're gonna start where that ditch comes back on the north end, back across 350, down by Ortman's place there. That's where you're gonna start to come back through. Now, that slope will take care of everything on the, is it gonna eliminate that water standing?
That was the hope.
Okay,
And if we're out there dipping it and it's not gonna work, then we will have to continue on around the corner. I mean, that's just the way it will be.
now, when you're working on the open ditch part, is it gonna get any wider
No,
or any deep? It'll probably get a little deeper.
it will go back to its original grade of the ditch. So when we clean out an open ditch, the sediment that's in there, we go down until the bottom gets hard when the excavator's digging. And when the spoils come out, you don't want to see a whole lot of new material on top of the old spoil. So the goal was just to clean out the sediment and put the ditch profile back to its original grade. What I am being told is that original grade may not be low enough to accommodate the drainage that's been put into that corner. So then the question is how do we accommodate that? Do we lower the entire profile of the ditch a little bit on the grade coming back to it? Or is there enough grade in the lateral that they put in to fix the flooding issue? And that's what I don't know yet.
Okay, I think the biggest concern was getting that cleaned all, where it comes down, where in front of our house.
From 350 all the way around to 350
Back
again.
to 350 again,
Okay.
because that's
We-
never been done down at that end.
Down at the north end, it's not been done. It's just been done from basically your house around to her house, and then it stopped. My goal, my hope is that it will alleviate the problem to where water will get to moving. If it does not, we will have to continue to dredge that ditch around the corner.
That's all I got.
And it's a money issue is the biggest problem I have. I'm trying to keep this cost as low as I can get it so that we didn't get thrown into a much more elaborate reconstruction.
Okay,
Because
thank you.
once we go past that $150,000 mark, then you got $100,000 just in soft costs to engineer firms and that kind of stuff. So you go from 150,000 up to 250,000 just by saying we can't do it. So that's why we've really tried to tame everything down. And we will get to some of these problems, but it won't be right away. It will be as the process continues moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
We choose not to do anything tonight. and a year from now, we all realize we made a mistake, how long does it take to get this back in the system?
Well, keep in mind, the reason this is moving forward is we've put ARP funds to this. So we've put lots of free money that they aren't spending. If we don't approve this tonight, they lose out on that $65,000 of free money. And they gotta come up with it then.
I'm kind of taking offense to both, there's two of you now that's brought that up that we don't, it's not that we're not opposed to it. You feel like we're asking too much for you to explain to us just where our money's going. That's where I'm feeling like you think we're not worthy of an explanation of where this money's going. And if we ask a question, now we need to, okay, well, you're just not gonna do it now because you're asking questions. Nobody doesn't agree that it needs to be done. It's just a matter of we would like to be brought on the same page as to how this all comes about financially and what part of it's ours. So you can say, you can drop it, like, you know, never mind. But we're not here to oppose it to the point where it doesn't need to be done. We're just trying to figure out just where the money's going and how much of it is ours and where it's going to.
It's gonna correct the problems we're having, that's all we're asking. Simple process for a taxpayer. That's gonna change
Feels like
next
we're being
year.
offensive, just asking a question.
I think it goes back to even the previous case where I made the point, I think we need to look at all angles.
Right.
And I think that's prudent on the taxpayer and on the elected officials, that we all look at every point, and so that a educated, thoughtful decision can be made.
I had a
So,
conversation with Mr. Lake earlier.
Yeah.
And it made more sense, and yes, there's still some questions I've got. but I understood
absolutely.
after
So-
we had a conversation about it, and he showed me what my questions were.
So for
That's
me,
all we're asking is give us the answers to the questions.
I try to ask questions, even if they're out on the fringe, so that we can come to that conclusion, educated conclusion. I know with Greg and his group, I know when they look at I'm not a surveyor and I don't envy them of their job, but I know when they try to look at this stuff, they know they're gonna go through your yard and they're gonna take out some trees, and so they look at that stuff and then they come back and report to us and help us make these educated decisions. So I'm glad you guys show up and express your concerns and ask your questions, because for me, that helps me as I sit up here and look at these pages and listen. That helps. It helps when you come and ask your questions and make your points, so that I can ask you, why don't you get out there and clean your ditch? So I know, we have to laugh about some of this stuff because this is serious, and sometimes you just need to take a step back and look at it.
Well, none of you live out there, have you ever been out there and looked at it? See, that's the point of it. We live out there.
Sure.
You don't.
I used to be a farmer. I know some of these things. I've been there, and I've walked many ditches, and I've asked these questions about ditches I've had. So I understand your point. You make
Well,
a,
I lived in Tennessee. I worked on a lot of farms.
yeah, then you have. And you guys make valid points. You do. And it is your money that's being spent.
Yes.
So, and we, none of us up here take this lightly. Please know that. So, and we beat up Greg pretty regularly, and he beats back. So these are serious things. So, and we understand your points. So,
Any other public comment?
who's gonna make the public comment here?
Her.
Okay.
State your name and
State your name
address,
and
please.
address.
My name is Beth Lucas, and I'm at 3388 West, 400 South. So my property, I don't think is nearly as big as some of these others, but we get so much water. We have some horses, and now we have Letty, and we have a swamp out there when it rains. Last year, we had to replace our pool surround, and when we did, it started floating because of all of the water, like, because it was so, we had to have the people come back and fix it, which was costly. So, no, I harass him so much calling up here. So I am so in favor of fixing this, very much, and Letty is too. Look, you can't say no to that.
That is unfair.
Yeah, so, we've had so many issues. We've had the water come in our garage. We've had to replace, I mean, like this much, I mean, the drywall, it went way up in our garage and so it gets really bad. I have videos where I'm walking and it's like this, right, not far from my door, like just a few feet from my door.
So she lives in the property that if you go back to when I started here, in 2004, we have minutes in the Drainage Board meeting of the owner at that time complaining of water spouts in her yard. She actually made the front page of the paper. It's her property, and nothing's changed since.
Is that just east of Browning's, on the corner of 350 and 26?
Yeah, right there in that area, yeah.
I see that one.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So yeah, if you ever talk about, well, what if we do nothing? The people that have owned that home for the last 20 years, that's what would happen.
So this will help that.
That's, her property is what started this back 20 years ago, yes.
Hi. Thank you.
Ruth Ann Boothby, I live at 3292 South, 350 West. I just have a comment to make. I kind of agree. We just want to get some answers. More than that, we want the solution. And when we missed the last meeting, unfortunately, but with the first meeting, we were kind of quoted an estimated price that it was going to be $1,300. Then we received the paperwork. Now it's $2,600. To me, that was, a lot different than what we were quoted. But I remember from the first meeting, we're across the street. We're on the east side of the road, across the street from the Maria Coons ditch. So our property drains and goes where Bob's at. But I remember being told that this may or may not be a solution to our drainage problem, where our house and the next door neighbor's house, we have a swimming pool around our house when it rains. I've got pictures from June of last year.
It flooded out last year.
It did.
I remember that.
And,
Stuff out of the garage and everything.
well, we're the house south of the gray house but the gray house, I mean, there's water bubbling out of those pipes also, because it just can't handle all that water. So I'm just,
Are we talking that you flooded out when we had the 7 inches of rain last year, early
yeah,
in the
but
spring?
also
Okay.
usually they put some things in their yard that has slowed our drainage down. And when we presented it to you, we were told there's not much we could do about it because they could do whatever they wanted to their property. But it has affected us. I mean, it's stopped our drainage, and we have water go through the barn, this far up on our barn,
What did you say your address is again?
3292 South, 350 West. I mean, it's sad. I have pictures. We put a pond in on the back of our property to
Did
help.
Dick put your pond in, Blazer?
Our-
No, Greg Stevens, or Glenn Stevens put it in. I'm the one that bought all the dirt out of your pond.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, when I was building my house.
I
Yeah.
guess I'm not sure where I'm at just yet, but I'll look at it. I'll be
She
happy to
lives
look at it.
across the street.
I live
from
right
me
across the
and
street.
Bob.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right, I'm
we
with
put
you
an
now.
acre-sized
Yep.
pond in.
I know where you're
to
at
help.
now. So
And if
the,
it wasn't for that pond, it would have been so much worse.
so that road culvert, I'm not sure if it was your neighbor maybe, there's a road culvert that from your property, it drains north and then goes underneath a road
Yeah,
culvert?
that's just a little bit north.
So I did take a look at that, and that road culvert, there needs to be a roadside swale put back into that road culvert. And potentially, I think that would solve a lot of the problems because the water's not getting to that culvert.
That would carry it north to that main ditch.
Correct.
Yeah, and I seen when we got that flood, it wasn't moving up.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So
well,
I think
the
that's
people
some of
in
it.
the house just north of us piled a whole bunch of rock in their driveway, so
Yes.
it kind of dammed
It
it
humps
up.
up, yep.
So we don't, it used to just flow on and go on.
And that could be just a driveway culvert will fix a lot of those problems. Because I know where you're at now, and I have looked at that.
Okay. But my concern is, you know, it's one thing, it's a lot of money if it helps the problem. But I remember being told in January, this may not solve our problem. And it's like.
What I'm doing, I don't believe will solve your problem, but I'm happy to talk to County Highway and see about that roadside ditch getting straightened up a little bit, and that would help alleviate, and that your water would get to the ditch that we're cleaning.
Well, we do have that drain pipe that goes through Bob's property that goes back to that drain tile.
Okay.
That's kind of down in there. So, you know, I'm assuming you'll do whatever to keep that open.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
You know when this project's gonna start?
Could you state your, would you be able to go up to the mic and state your name and address for the record? Sorry.
My name's Bob Roberts, 3277 South, 350 West. I just wondered when this project's going to start. And is it going to start at the north side or down there south side?
So the project is going to start anytime between today and the end of August. And it will start on the north end of this watershed. So it's going to start up north of your house. And the open ditch will be done first. And then we hope to roll right into the tile portion as soon as crops come out, do the reconstruction portion of this project.
But they're going to clean just on the east side of the ditch?
Of the open ditch, we will be cleaning the east sides where we're going to cut all the trees down to make a path to clean the ditch and level spoils. There will be a few trees on the south side like we have spoken about, or on the west side like we'd spoken about going up the bank that we will cut off.
There's some trees right at the top of the
Correct.
edge of the bank.
And when we're out there, we'll talk about taking those off.
Okay. And then one huge willow tree that's huge.
Right. And I think you might have a tree that you want the contractors back in your property a little bit, possibly to take.
Well, that one, the roots are down in the bottom of the ditch.
Okay.
And I have tried to get, well, I've got some of them out, but you can't hardly do it with a chainsaw with all
Yeah.
the gravel and the rock down there. But it is kind of backing up the water just a little bit. Not
Yep.
bad.
If it's in the ditch, it will be disappearing.
Yeah. But sometime in August, probably between now and,
I hope the open ditch is to be completed by the end of August.
okay, well, see, I got a bridge across that ditch and, I have to take the tractor and on the feet up. I just drag it off to the east side if they're just gonna do it on the west side, if they're going to do it on the east side.
Yes, that would be wise.
And some of those big trees, I use firewood, so.
Sure, absolutely. Paul, have you heard when the contractor, we haven't heard. So I haven't been told that they're starting yet, but hopefully anytime.
Well, I'm very good. That's all I need.
Okay. Nope, anybody else? Okay. What's the board's wishes?
I would like to make a motion that we approve resolution number HCDB 2026-04.
No, it's
No.
actually, it would be two. This one would be two.
This one would be two?
This one right here, that's a different one.
Okay.
It's two.
All right, let me amend that to HCDB-2026-02.
I got a motion by Mr. Dodd. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Mr. Byram.
That's all we're.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. We also have, related to this, we have 2603, which is the findings and order approving conversion of method of calculation and increasing of annual maintenance assessments for the Maria Coons Drain. Greg, that's just what we've already talked about, correct?
Correct.
So this would be 2603.
I move for acceptance of HCDB 2603.
Got a motion by Mr. Byram,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Olery. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes as well. I'm passing both of these around to be signed. Now we need to go out of public hearing back to regular drainage board at this time.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Olery,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Bray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're back in regular drainage board, and the first up was resolution HCDB 2604, and it's an encroachment to the Maria Coons Drain by Ms. Lucas that was just up talking. Greg, you got anything to add to the 2604?
So, Ms. Lucas is wanting to build a deck on the back of her home. I believe you have a map in your packet. It's actually gonna be further away from the drain once we replace it. So it will act, the edge of her home will be closer than where her deck is being built. So that's really the only thing I had. We will notify the adjoiners for the public hearing in 2 weeks.
Questions, comments?
Is that encroaching a pipe? A
Yes.
buried pipe rather than an open ditch?
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion on that.
Move to approve.
Got a motion by Mr. Dodd. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Bray for HEDB 2604. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes as well. And we've already did the Deer Park subdivision with Mr. Johnson. Is there any other business in front of this board tonight? Any other public comment? Not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Byram and a second by Mr. Dodd. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Absolutely.